Hey guys, here's your Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, October 10th, presented by Mercury.
All right, everybody, this is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for Lake Guntersville, presented by Mercury. We caught up here with Tom Ott again. Tom, what's things going on up on the big lake, that Tennessee River legendary impoundment? What's going on up there?
Man, I'm telling you, Dano, Guntersville is still a little tough. I think we saw that with the elite weights last week. I don't even think there was a bag that topped 20 pounds. So that gives you an idea of just how tough it is out there. Now, you can catch a lot of fish. You're just not catching a lot of keeper fish, it looks like. So things are still turning on. You know, we're still getting some warm days, getting cold nights. So we're definitely getting to that point where the A rigs are starting to pick up some real good bites. Again, the square bill's still picking up some good bites. Your quality bites are probably going to come from those flipping, punching some like you saw the elites do. The frog bite still just really soft. I mean, there was a Spro tournament. I think 400 plus boats were in it, and we saw 15 pounds take the. So right there, that tells you, we're not quite there, but it's definitely coming. I mean, give it another week or two, and I think Guntersville's going to show its true colors for sure.
Well, I know I talked to Frank Talley because he won that Elite Series tournament, came from behind on the last day, ended up catching 16, 17 pounds, if I remember right, on the final day to take the lead and win. Primarily, his fish were caught upriver towards the Tennessee border, fishing a thunder cricket, a Strike King thunder cricket, and it seemed like current played a role, especially up there, and he was blasting pods of eelgrass, fishing down the line of the grass, hitting pods. Is that something that you're typically used to seeing up there?
Well, I'll tell you, last week I said the eelgrass probably wasn't the ticket, and then Frank turns out and makes me a liar there. But he was doing something a little different. He was way upriver, where it's definitely more riverine, and he was fishing those edges. So he was right on the edge. He was keeping his boat in deep water, 11, 12 foot, and he was fishing in 7, 8 foot, right along those walls. So it's definitely a good pattern that we see down here in Guntersville. We see it on the lower end of the lake, too. It just didn't happen this past weekend for sure. But absolutely, I mean, I would definitely stick with that kind of pattern there for sure.
So let's touch on the crappie bite a little bit. I know it's been a little bit slow up there, but it can be had. Is it going to be a live bait thing still? Is that the kind of stuff we're looking at, or are we starting to venture into jigs and dock shooting a little bit too?
I'm starting to see some jigs are starting to pick up some fish. I mean, it's still a little tough, but we're seeing them on those deeper vertical banks, starting to move into that 15, 20 foot of water. And again, the bridge pilings, the deeper docks are certainly going to be, big players coming up soon.
All right, Tom, we appreciate everything. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt the fishing report. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows about Virtual Fish Fest, October 24th and 25th. We're going to do 2 full days of lives. Head on over to Facebook, check out the event. Lots more info coming soon. Thanks. Back to the fishing report.
All right, everybody, this is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island area fishing report for October the 10th. We're going to join Josh Herron as he talks about what's going on down at Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, what's going on down there in your neck of the woods?
Man, fish are really starting to feed good. They're really on bait. It's having some pretty spectacular days number-wise. Big fish still haven't started showing up that great, but numbers are really starting to pick up.
Haven't seen a ton of quality, or are you starting to see those big fish starting to show up?
You're getting 1 or 2 pretty decent ones a day. Numbers are still really good, but like I said, fish are really getting on bait, so you're starting to transition more to that swim bait, A-rig. Even like a scrounger is doing really good right now.
Well, I know that we're expecting Hurricane Delta to come through the area this week, and I expect that the current flows are going to start picking up as a result. I don't know that we're going to see a huge overnight drop in temperatures, but what do you think that current is going to do for Logan Martin?
Current always makes Logan Martin shine, and water temperatures have really dropped over the past 2 to 3 weeks. I saw temperatures this weekend in the back of a couple creeks all the way down to 60.
Yep, that'll make the fish go crazy there at Logan Martin. Top water bite, A-rig, swim baits, any kind of thing that's available. I'm sure that's gonna be good. So let's talk about Lay Lake a little bit. I know that lake's been a little bit ahead of Logan Martin as far as the the bite goes. Are you still seeing that kind of activity down there at Logan Martin, at Lay?
Yeah, at Lay, everything's going pretty good. It's about par for the course right now for going into the fall. Lay's traditionally a little tougher than Logan Martin number wise, but the better fish seem to be showing up at Lay. I know that they had the Silicaca Marine down this weekend. It was their 2-day, so I think 15 pounds is what led it the first day, which doesn't sound that great, but for this time of year, that's pretty much ahead of everywhere else on the Coosa River.
So what kind of patterns are you seeing on Lay Lake this time of the year? Are they going to want to run upstream? Are they going to want to try to hit current breaks down lake? Or are they going to want to
the middle area of the lake really shines this time of year. Grass fishing really starts to be prevalent again. It's still a mixed bag kind of day. You can still go spotted bass fishing relatively early. Largemouth still seem to shine in the afternoons. But shade is a really big thing for largemouth fishing this time of year. Whether it's grass, docks, doesn't really matter. Shade is, for whatever reason, on up in the day, a really key factor.
What about crappie boats? You starting to see some crappie boats out there, guys going out there targeting slabs?
Yeah, it'll start to pick up. You're going to start seeing guys spend a lot more time out in timber. I know even graphing around right now, you can see a lot of crappie in that 14 to 17 foot range.
Well, Josh, thanks again for everything as always. We look forward to talking to you next week.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, everybody, this is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report, remote from the home office. Hey, I wanted to check in real quick on this October the 10th with Coley McGowan. Coley won the Hobie Open here on Neely Henry and Weiss Lake. Coley, 181 inches of bass fishing from your kayak. That's pretty stinking amazing. How did everything go for you up there on Weiss Lake?
It went good. I had a good practice. My practice kind of changed when day one of the event, but I had a good event, practice and a good event. Everything went smooth for me.
So that's a bunch of pretty solid fish there. What'd you find the bite to be like up at Weiss Lake last weekend?
In the back of creeks, I had my best 2 days of practice was in the back of these creeks, fishing primarily grass, throwing a double willow leaf spinnerbait, white, half ounce. I caught several on a chatterbait. I caught a couple of good fish on a black buzzbait early, but that held up for me for 2 days of practice. And then when the second day of practice I pulled up, there was a couple of different people, fishing where I was fishing. I kind of changed my plan and went to Plan B and come to Neely.
So yeah, you mentioned that you had gone down to Neely Henry and you fished the lower end of the lake down there. Was there a specific area of the lake that you tended to target?
Around Canoe Creek, that general area was what I found to be the hot spot for me. I mean, as much as I got to practice the last afternoon on Friday, that's where I found to find the most fish for me was down around Canoe Creek.
Okay, so you managed. Like I said, that's a big total of number of fish. It's a 10 fish limit for 2 days, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 181 inches. Those are all pretty solid fish. What was your biggest one?
I had a 20-inch spot. I had two of those. I had a 20 on day one and a 20 on day two.
Well, those are big spotted bass. What was your primary pattern there on Neely Henry, or what was the overall bite like?
The two largemouth that I weighed in on day two, I caught on a buzzbait, but the spots I caught just glued to wood. They were pulling water. I noticed a little bit of current on the lower end, which was great. I think they were running 2 turbines after 10 a.m. So I caught most of my fish on wood and about 5 to 8 foot outside of grass and about 4 to 6 foot of water on a spinnerbait and a shallow crankbait. And the ones that I caught on wood were with a jig.
Well, Coley, from all of us here at Bucks Island, congratulations. That's a great event. And folks, thanks for spending some time with us here on our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report presented by Mercury.
Hey, well, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Bucks Island Area Fishing Report presented by Mercury. A huge thank you to all those guys for taking the time to share what they're seeing out on the water. And we hope you have some good luck. And don't forget, October 24th and 25th, Virtual Fish Fest. See ya.